when you're in pain, soothing as a springtime rain, to have a friend right in your corner. Your heart will feel a little warmer. Tender loving care, tender loving care. Each warm and friendly touch lets someone know you care so much. Tender loving care, tender loving care.
Good evening and welcome to Tender Loving Care. I am not Dr. Allman. My name is Carol Long and I'm filling in for Dr. Greenbrier Allman while he's getting acquainted with his new grandbaby. For the next few weeks, as we have done in the last 3 weeks, we're talking about how tender loving care is applied to the many agencies that we have here in Upshur County. There's an awful lot of help agencies and lots of volunteers who make a difference in everyone's lives. I have two special ladies with me today. We're going to be talking about the Parish House. So I have Alicia Rapking, who is the director. Is that your title, director of the Parish House? And Debbie Huber, and she's got something up her sleeve that has to do with Christmas. We'll talk to both of them and find out. We're getting into the holidays, only a couple of weeks till Thanksgiving, and then of course Christmas is just right around the corner. So I know that there are a lot of things that the Parish House does, and I'd like you to share with the folks who are watching some of the projects that you do at the Parish House and how you depend on volunteers to come in and help.
Well, thank you, Carol, for having us tonight so we can talk about some of our passions.
Okay.
At the Parish House, we do quite a few things, but probably we are best known for what we do through Crosslines, which is located in the Parish House.
Right.
And Crosslines is an ecumenical organization that helps with utilities and food needs on an emergency basis. We have for years been open Monday through Thursday, but this week, starting on the 15th of November, we will now be open Monday through Friday from 9 to 1. And we are there to do whatever we can to help folks who might be in need.
And it doesn't matter what church they go to or if they go to church.
If they go to church.
Right.
Yes.
So you have the clothes closet, you have the food pantry, and some of those are coordinated. Are they out of Crosslines, some of them?
Crosslines is the food pantry and the utilities.
Okay.
And then the other ministries that we do come through the Upshur Cooperative Parish.
Okay.
So we've been around for about a little over 20 years. It still amazes me that people don't always know that we're there.
True.
So hopefully people will still continue to know.
And where are you located?
We are located at 68 College Avenue.
It's almost across from the administrative building there at Wesleyan.
It's right on the corner, right across from the Theta Chi's.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you another question. If I get into territory that I'm not supposed to be in, you tell me. But I know that there is a building next door called the Hall House.
Yeah.
Now, is that in relationship to some of the programming that you have at the Parish House?
The Hall House is we don't direct the program at the Hall House, but they are connected with us. And the Hall House is part of our facility. The Hall Neighbors House is a wellness and recovery center, and we also have recovery coaches that operate out of that particular facility. So it's a mental health and recovery center.
It's not a place for folks to stay.
Well, no.
No, okay.
It's a drop-in center, and that means that people who just need a safe place to be or need companionship or support for the various struggles they may be going through in recovery and mental health issues, it's a place for them to be. And 3 days a week, we serve through the Hall House a hot lunch. The other 2 days a week, we serve a hot lunch at the parish house. And so 5 days a week you can get a hot lunch.
Now, when you say you can get a hot lunch, who does this apply to?
Any and everybody.
So even for fellowship.
Sure.
And that's at what time?
Noon.
At noon.
Every day.
Okay.
At noon.
Now, I know that you also, behind the parish house, have the clothes closet.
Yes, we do.
And my understanding, I know a little bit about the parish house. I've worked some with it. And a lot of your funding that you get to help buy things comes from the clothes closet.
The clothes closet does really help fund a lot of our programming. Most of the money that we get for Crosslines is donated through all the denominations, and we have a lot of church support through the entire county. The clothes closet helps with other expenses for other projects, for other for our home repair project that we do in the summer, for buildings and maintenance, and then occasionally, sometimes the money will be funded through Crosslines. The house has had the thrift shop, the clothes closet, almost since the beginning.
Yes, yes.
And we're very fortunate to be able to acquire that building. So the clothes closet takes donations of not just used clothing, but everything, really.
Oh, they have, and Christmas, it's a good place at Christmas shop.
Oh, everything.
They have all kinds of neat things there. And also, you would probably like to have some things, but would you like Christmas things for people to decorate with for the holidays?
Sure. We take everything.
Okay.
And the problem that we have at the clothes closet is we don't have enough space.
Well, maybe another building behind it.
Oh, we've got all kinds of plans up our sleeves, but we have to be patient with ourselves and make sure we're designing the right thing that we need. But the clothes closet is open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, from 9 o'clock to 12:30.
Okay. And they close every day at 12:30. So if somebody is watching and they want to bring something, when is a good time for them to bring articles, and where should they bring them to?
We have a donation box on the front porch of
Okay.
the clothes closet. We also have our manager who lives close by, and she walks around the building quite frequently throughout the afternoon and evening, and whenever someone drops something off, she just pulls it in.
Okay.
So it works out pretty well.
Now, do you need volunteers for the clothes closet?
We need volunteers for everything.
Well, tell some folks out there, maybe you're watching and you have a few hours spare time. I don't think anybody does anymore. We're all so busy. But if you're sitting at home and you just haven't plugged into something and you would like to find a few hours to volunteer, what are some of the projects that you're doing that you could use volunteers for?
We can always use volunteers at the clothes closet for sorting through our donations.
Okay.
Our manager, Heather, is very particular, and she, the clothes closet has always been very particular about the way things are presented and look. So they spend a lot of time sorting through and washing and drying and presenting the articles that we get. And that, as you can well imagine,
Takes
will
time.
take a lot of time just sorting through. So we can always use people who could come and spend 3 hours a morning to sort and to help carry. Over at the parish house, we can use folks in the food pantry almost all the time.
And what do you expect the folks to do that work with the food pantry?
The food pantry, we have charts on the walls that tells us what kind of articles to put in a bag for a family. So you would think that a household of 12, and we do have some in this county, households of 12 and 13, would get more food than a household of 1. So we have pretty clear directions about how much food goes into a food package depending upon how many people live in the household.
So if you're just a little bit leery of coming in because you don't know what to do, the directions are there, and there's
you
always
would
someone to help you.
Always someone to help.
That's great.
Particularly right now as we're giving out our Thanksgiving meal packages and then later on our Christmas meal packages, we need a lot of folks. Today, is Tuesday morning, we were open 4 hours, and in that time, we had 148 people.
Oh my
through.
goodness.
Because
Now, were those all for food packages?
All for food
So that
packages.
takes a lot of packing
A
up.
lot of packing up. And I appreciate everybody being patient because there wasn't enough room to sit, and we had to make pots and pots and pots of coffee because it was cold today. And so I really appreciate everyone's patience. But we had 4 or 5 college students and a Bible study group that were there today, as well as several other of our volunteers. And it took everybody to get all those packaged up.
Okay, if there's somebody out there watching and they say, I could use some help. What are the guidelines if somebody needs one of these food packages and they just are really struggling to make the month get through and have enough food? What can they do, and what are the guidelines as to whether or not they can apply at the parish house and the clothes closet and Crosslines for assistance?
It would be through Crosslines that kind of help comes. And we have to see folks face to face.
Okay, that makes sense.
And so we would encourage them to come to the parish house between 9 and 1 o'clock on weekdays. There would be a short intake form if they've never been there before. Just basically states who lives in your house and the kinds of bills you have to pay and what your source of income is. And there are some guidelines, but there are sometimes people just hit a temporary snag and they need just a little bit of help to get over. We're not going to turn people away if we can help. So I would just encourage people to come and let's see what we can do. We also have resources. If we can't help, there might be another agency that they would be better
That's what I was going to
qualified
say.
for.
I know when the Crosslines started, it was sort of a networking system.
And it still is.
And I think that's very important because that way, if a person can't get help this place, maybe there are other resources, like you say, that can provide something in their needs. You do some transportation too, do you?
We don't do transportation anymore, but we do provide gas vouchers.
Okay. So that's a help.
Yes, and for instance, we just learned of a program that's active in this county just now that can help veterans. If you have a veteran in your household and, for instance, you've hit a snag and you're just about ready to be homeless, you can't meet the electric bill or you can't meet the mortgage or the rent, there's another program in the county that we can connect people to.
Well, I think
the
the most important thing that we want to get to our viewers is the fact there are places that will give you assistance in time of need. And if they're watching and they feel like they could really use some help, what is a phone number that they could use to call and talk to somebody?
Sure. The phone number at the parish house is 304, of course, 472-0743.
Okay, and somebody would answer
between the hours of 9 and 1.
And maybe the parish house, like Alicia says, maybe they can't be the person to provide the help. But with the veterans, I think you even at one time have done management on budgets, have you not?
We have had budget
do you still do the
classes.
layup program?
We do the layup. In fact, today we were very busy with that. We had several folks come in who had newborn babies. And when someone who has a brand new baby can come in and we provide all the things that they need to get started with. So onesies and bottles and booties and washcloths and receiving blankets and crib sheets and all those things that cost money, but it's difficult to come by if you don't have enough to make ends meet at a particular time.
Well, I know that's what the parish house and Crosslines is all about, is to help you get in that space of time. Usually you get a check, but the check may not end at the end of the month, so you've got to fill something in between. So,
and one thing that people may not realize is that people who are on SNAP benefits used to be known as food stamps, but now it's called SNAP, and it's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP. everyone who's on SNAP just got their benefits cut on November 1st. Now, it wasn't cut by a great deal, but if you have a household, a family of 4, and your SNAP benefits have been cut $36,
Makes a difference.
that makes a huge, huge difference. So we anticipate that people who have been able to make ends meet by their SNAP benefits will suddenly become food insecure, meaning that they can't quite make it through the month. So we anticipate seeing some more folks who will be coming in because of that situation. And so we not only will be there for folks, but we'll depend on our community to continue to support us.
And you take donations of food,
Oh, yes.
money, supplies.
Yes.
And again, if somebody has a need, you will take care of them. But if they have a desire to help, they can also call. And that
sure.
number again?
472-0743.
Okay. With, I know last week we talked with Christmas Store.
Yes.
And do you still take things if somebody is going through or would like to give money or would like to give something to the Christmas Store, coats or whatever, can they bring it down to the parish house?
Yes. In fact, that plus if folks still haven't been able to turn in their applications, we will still take them at the parish house and get them to the Christmas Store board.
And that's just for children here in Upshur County, but there are children who may not have a Christmas if it weren't for the Christmas Store volunteers. Volunteers are so important. Now I'm going to turn to Debbie here and talk just a minute. We've sort of let you sit here. So I'd like to know, I know that you and Alicia are working on something special for the holidays.
Yep.
So maybe you could fill us in on what your job is and maybe why you're involved with it and what it's going to do to help folks.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. I'm really thrilled to be here. About 4 years ago, in a November article in the paper I read where Alicia had written asking for volunteers to come out to help for the Christmas dinner. I called because I felt a real need to serve. And when I called, I reached Alicia and she said, I basically have no idea what I'm doing.
I can't imagine you saying that.
And
didn't.
and I said, well, I do have catering experience, restaurant experience, of course, as well as food service, full service, quick service. And I said, maybe we could get together and I could help you because the Carmonas had done this for such a long time. So that was, we met and we started working on, based on last year's, or the plan from the prior year. And we started working towards it. And I'll tell you the story. It being the first year, there was a volunteer that was working, and she was working in the dessert section. And we use about 60 to 70 volunteers to make this dinner happen. And it's going to be on Christmas Day again. But she came up to me and she said, Debbie, she said, would it be okay if I had something to eat with my daughter? And I said, absolutely. And she says, well, we really don't have anything at home. And I said, please get something to eat. And then she says, could I get a plate to go? And I said, absolutely. I said, let me make you something so you can take home. And I gave it to her, and this lady did not just hug me. I mean, you've had those random hugs where they're very insincere or maybe hinting on sincerity, but this lady, she embraced me in a way that touched my heart because I'll never forget her because that's what sold it for me. It was all the volunteers that came out to help on Christmas Day. They gave up their time. They gave up time with their family to cook, to clean, to wash dishes, but also to fellowship with their neighbor because that's what's so important, is being there to be able to fellowship. And last year, every year we've grown in the numbers that we've fed. And last year we fed over 400 people.
Is it something that goes on for several hours, or is it all at one time?
We started last year from 11:30 to 2.
Okay.
And we're planning on trying to do it the same thing, 11:30 to either 1:30 or 2
And
o'clock.
where's it located?
It's at Chapel Hill.
Okay, downstairs.
Downstairs in Ingle Hall. And The past couple of years, with our fundraising efforts, we've had enough money that we could have a reception table with a fruit punch, with cheese and crackers, and a meat tray. And then last year, we had a little extra money that we were able to afford soup. So we were offered hot soup as well as the reception table. And it's a focus of mine, being in the hospitality industry, is to make sure that this doesn't feel like a soup kitchen. And so we have linen tablecloths, and we have real plates, real silverware, real glassware, and we want people to know that it's a very comfortable setting. Come fellowship. A lot of people who don't have anywhere to go just want to come here, but then we also have a lot of families that come there to work and also share the memories together, because it's very fulfilling having that fellowship. And one gentleman who I'm in Rotary Club with, his name's Rich, he came to me and he offered to help. And afterwards he said, I'm in this for the long haul. He says, I'm going to do this. He says, my Christmas will begin after I do the Christmas dinner, because it has touched his life. So we do pre-cooking on, this year it'll be on December 23rd on Monday. We'll be cooking, doing all the prep, decorating, and then we'll have everything ready for Christmas Day. If you would like to volunteer, you can call the parish house. We're going to have another number. It will be publicized in the newspaper in a press release. We're going to have a little satellite temporary number that people can call. But yeah, we want to let people know that not only do we need your money, but we'd also like to have their help. We'd like for people to come out and participate, spend 1 or 2 hours more, because...
Now, I'm going to break in here.
Go ahead.
You said you have soup. Do you do a Christmas dinner?
We do.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that that's in there, too.
Oh, thank you for asking that. Yes, we do have the full meal. Last year we had turkey and ham, but we had so many people we ran out of turkey. That won't happen this year.
No, it won't.
No. And we had baked apples, we had mashed potatoes and gravy, we had green beans,
Corn
rolls.
Corn dish.
What about desserts? Can people donate desserts?
Yes. In fact, we've had such a blessing of desserts, and people can bring their desserts. One gentleman brought in 3 big 3-layer cakes that his wife had made. And the only thing we ask is if you're going to donate a dessert, bring it in something that we don't have to worry about returning. Because if it's your grandmother's dish that you want to get back, you might want to rethink that and bring something else. So
one thing I want to also add, you talking about it being a time of fellowship, especially for those maybe that live alone and they don't have a family around here.
Yeah.
You know, it may be a neighbor, maybe it's 2 pals, 2 men or 2 women who just say, hey, I don't have any place to go for Christmas. You don't. Let's go to have Christmas dinner.
We actually had people that came in. They were staying in a local hotel. They had nowhere to go to eat
Because nothing was open.
Nothing was open, and they came in and they thought this was the best meal that they had had. So the things that we cook together, and like we made a homemade corn casserole. So homemade desserts, homemade food. We prepare it ourselves, and we find Alicia and I, we have just become great friends through this.
Yes, we have.
And we go shopping together, and we have a lot of businesses that also contribute, and we're thankful for them. We also have people that purposely choose to be anonymous with their donations, and we're grateful for those people because they don't want any recognition. But those anonymous donors really help make this happen. So,
do you have turkeys that are already baked that you get, or can someone donate a turkey?
Somebody can donate a turkey,
or a ham,
or a ham. In fact, our very first day, Alicia and I were working. I taught Alicia how to basically cut up a turkey like you would a chicken, so it would bake quicker. And she had a lot of fun with that. And we kind of do little cooking lessons, so we have a lot of people. But whether my mother-in-law is 82, Norma. Hi, Norma. She's watching. She works our reception table, and she serves punch. And we have other volunteers that work, whether they can just sit and be of service or just come and fellowship, or if they would actually like to cook or do food. We have a system, and it's worked out real well.
And this is Tender Loving Care.
Yes.
You know,
Yes,
I just think I've worked with the Christmas store for a number of years, and there's nothing any more heartwarming than to see somebody be happy because of what you're doing.
Yes, yeah.
And many of those people who do the Christmas store come and help.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that you have the same thing with
Yeah.
your dinner. You know, once they come, they probably say, "Well, I want to come back next year. What can I do to help?"
They do. And one other thing I'd like to point out, we had more people last year for who came in and just took the pre-pack, or we made up food to go. So we have to-go orders. People can come in and get food to take, or we can also do deliveries, and that information will be also in the local press release.
Now, is there a charge for this meal?
This is completely free. This is
That's an important thing for people to know.
It is free will. If you have 2 cents, we'll take your 2 cents. But if that 2 cents is better in your pocket, keep it in your pocket. But we have a lot of people that have already made donations. We're almost to our goal, but our goal is so that we have enough that we can provide for extras. And
You said 400 with
we're planning this year for 500
500.
because of the need in our community. So,
and
but
the
yeah.
need is great everywhere.
It really
and
is.
it's going to get worse, I have a feeling.
But
you know.
Christmas Day, one year we had a lot of snow on the ground, but our volunteers, we have people that drive, and our drivers are very committed to their schedule. So they will actually go, and we only deliver in Upshur County, so we want to let
Tell
people
us
know.
again where it's going to be, what the time is, and how people can participate.
It will be on Christmas Day at Chapel Hill from 11:30 to 1:30, maybe 2. But you can participate by either volunteering, you can come and cook if you're able to cook, or if you just want to come and enjoy a meal and fellowship and a few songs, we'd just love to have you. And it's such an important thing, and the Parish House is such a wonderful community cornerstone, and I don't know where our community would be without them. And Alicia is such a blessing.
I think it's very important that folks know this community and many other communities would not survive if there weren't volunteers
Yes.
who care enough to go out every day, deliver Meals on Wheels,
Yes.
help with the Christmas store, help with cross lines, help with your dinner. And the other thing about the dinner I was going to ask you, and we're just about out of time, if you have a family dinner planned, could you provide something ahead of time that you can go ahead and fix that day?
Go ahead.
If Christmas Day is absolutely not an option for volunteering, we will get together on the 23rd from about 8 o'clock in the morning till about 4 o'clock
Okay,
in the
and
afternoon.
cook.
And that's important too, because we
Yes.
need help setting up, we need
Decorating.
help decorating, we need help cooking, because we try to have as much prepared ahead of time as possible.
Yes.
So even if Christmas Day is not an option,
awesome.
we can still use your help on the 23rd.
Yep.
I think it's awesome that we can bring these things to the public's attention, because a lot of people, maybe there's someone that just moved into the community and they don't
Right.
know anybody. These are opportunities for them to plug in somewhere. And I can't say enough about being a volunteer. You get so much back. You give your time, you might give some money, but it's the fact that you feel like you're connecting with other people. You're making a difference in somebody else's life, and that's what it's all about.
That's right.
That's what
Just
it's all about.
one quick announcement, if I can just
Okay.
make that. We have started our Thanksgiving distribution for meal packages for folks. Today we served 148 people in 4 hours, and we are anticipating somewhere over 500 meal packages for Thanksgiving. So we'll be doing that from now until the 26th of November. And then we will start at Christmas as well on the 9th of December until the 20th of December. And we still need some items for Christmas. So if you're out and about and you want to pick up something for the Christmas distribution, we can use canned yams or canned sweet potatoes,
Okay.
cake mixes and frosting, and canned fruit.
All right. And one more time, the phone number for Parish House.
472-0743.
Thank you, ladies, so much for coming and sharing what's going on in your neck of the woods, what you're doing to make a difference in the lives of others, and it's very important. A part of living simply is simple communication. be honest and direct. And I think that's the thought I'm going to leave for everybody today. Until next time, thank you for joining us with Tender Loving Care. And make sure you plug in someplace and make a difference in another person's life. It's important. Thank you for joining us. See you next week.
Stories of a West Virginia Doctor, written by Dr. Harold D. Allman. A collection of 55 short stories about his experience as a small-town doctor in central West Virginia. And Tender Loving Care, Stories from a West Virginia Doctor, Volume 2, written by Dr. Greenbrier Allman, using videotapes to write 70 additional stories of his father's very colorful life as a small-town doctor. They can be found for purchase at Amazon.com and most local bookstores. Tune into Channel 3 Buckhannon for Tender Loving Care with Dr. Greenbrier Allman, where he talks about the connection between Christianity and medicine.